Hey, I'm Tyler Price. I am a new real estate agent as of last night at 8:30. I finally got my fingerprints. They came back. So obviously the sealed records worked, or else maybe I wasn't going to get that license. But anyway, this isn't about me in real estate, although if you're interested, hit me up. Today, it's about Mikayla Matlock, and we've been friends for a minute, and I always thought it was Matlock, so it tells you how good of a friend I am. We're going to drive around in the 67 Bug and talk about what she does. It used to be, not used to be, it's still, right? But you're rebranding with DWI.
Yes.
That used to be, or is still, Development Workshop Inc., right?
Yeah.
So tell us about the rebranding, and then let's get into a little bit about what you do, and we'll just drive around, not go out on the freeway because this thing gets bounced around like crazy. So anyway, rebranding, and what do you do? Or answer that in any order.
Well, so yes, most people know us as Development Workshop, which is great because 53 years of service in this community, that name holds a lot of weight.
That does work, yeah.
But most people, the reason we look to rebrand is because when they say Development Workshop, they think we're just a workshop, right? And we're so much more than that. And so we said, we really need to make it a little bit different. And most people who have seen and worked with us for a long time, they already say DWI because it was Development Workshop Inc., DWI. So we said that's an easy switch. So we work as a DBA, Development Workshop, doing business as DWI, but we wanted to even go a little bit further by looking at the letters DWI. It is not what most people think it is. It is Develop, Worth, and Independence.
Oh, nice.
Because that is really what our mission is about. Developing individuals with disabilities and those who are disadvantaged, and being able to show that they have worth and that they can be independent. So it fits just perfectly, and it was a great way to switch it up. But you will still see Development Workshop on some of our buildings and our cars, because if anybody has rebranded, they know it's a lot of work and costs some money.
You don't want to be lost in the way.
Exactly.
So Development Workshop went away, and then now uses DWI people, right?
Yes, exactly. So when you look at who we are, our mission, as I said, is to work with those who have a disability or those who are disadvantaged, because disadvantaged also can be a lot of things. As part of a large part of who we are, and really how we started, was in employment. And so employment, we can serve a broader population. It doesn't have to be just those who have a disability developmentally, but also those who may have been out of the workforce for a long time, or they became disabled as an adult later in life, and now they can't do the career that they've always done. So that would be considered disadvantaged. So having those two populations in our mission allows us to expand that broader group.
And you guys, so you're it sounds like then you're placing them in employment as well as in-house stuff too then.
Yeah. So for employment, I mean, first and foremost, we want to be a partner to our business community. So if businesses are having trouble hiring good employees, we can be that resource, because we work with particular individuals who said, this is the career I'm looking for, this is the job I want to do. And so we have specialized staff that go out and seek out those employment opportunities. But we don't do it in a way that we just go look at job ads. No, we're visiting with businesses, we're looking at what their needs are, what the person we're serving needs are, and then trying to place them in just the right place.
Right.
But if an individual wants to also come work for DWI, we have employment opportunities, because we do manufacturing and production, we do sewing, and we provide custodial services to the community. So we have job placement opportunities as well. So we can serve both capacities.
And so with manufacturing, you have molds, plastic molds, right? I mean, you can do
big injection molding
machines. Molding. I mean, that's some technical stuff, right? And you have contracts with government that's come and gone, right? And
we have government and commercial,
right?
Yeah. So our longest standing ones, we do a lot with GSA. We do a lot with Department of Defense, we do sewing projects for the U.S. Air Force. So as a Source America Ability One program is where we competitively bid most of our contracts. Those contracts are intended to go to organizations like ours or industries with the blinds.
Right.
So it specializes in empowering employment for people with disabilities.
Yeah.
Because if you look at our statistics, people with disabilities are the most unemployed. And it is because they can't always do the standard job description.
Right.
Sometimes we have to carve opportunities for them so they can be successful.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing. I think in the new market, we're all trying to figure out how to be unique because we all are looking for employees and many of us are short-staffed, and so we're having to be creative and do things differently.
Yeah. No, I think, and what's some of the challenges then do you think that, because when we owned Austin Cade Academy, we had, over time, we had two girls that were very high functioning.
Yeah,
one loved vacuuming, that was her thing, and another one was, and the girls and guys that went to the school loved them. It was Katie, and then it was Rachel. Rachel, I believe, is still there. She'd been with us for like 10 years. But what do you think are some of the challenges that employers would have in hiring? Because is there a stigma, or is it usually not a challenge?
You know, I think what it is lack of knowledge and education in regards to, people think, well, if I hire someone with a disability, it's going to be expensive because I'm going to have to accommodate them in certain ways. I'm going to have to train them more. And so there's this expectation of what they think hiring a person with disabilities looks like, and that's not at all true. And that's where DWI comes in, because we take some of that guesswork out of it for the employer. We are there, we can be on site, we can assist you with understanding, hey, this individual just needs to have a flexible schedule, or this individual just needs one typical device that's going to help them be more productive. The difference is the individuals we place in jobs most often are there very long term, because they don't like change. So they're going to commit, and if it's the right job and the right support system, you will have them for a very long time. And it's because they just need to feel supported. We actually, many businesses probably have individuals with disabilities that work for them. They just don't always know it because it's not something people will talk about. And a lot of times, individuals have disabilities that are not physical. So neurodiversity is so common now. And as employers, some of your most difficult employees may be strictly because they have a neurodiversity disability that they don't want to talk about. And so we hope to be able to break down that barrier so that people feel more comfortable sharing with their employees that they do need a little bit of support.
Well, we found, like, we had, and I'm forgetting their last names, I just called them by their first names, but Katie was with us first, and we owned that business for 15 years before we sold it. And the reason why because you talk about they don't like change. She would still be there, but the program she was in quit coming to drop her off, and nobody could pick her up, and it was just the dynamic of it.
Transportation is a huge issue.
And then, I don't know how Rachel ended up coming in, but it's interesting because the staff rallied behind them, and they really, I mean, they just did a great job for what we hired them for. And you know, they were part of staff parties, and they were, and anyway, the kids loved them, and it was, I don't know, it was just kind of a rallying point almost. It's not like they were given a whole lot of special treatment. It's just people were kind in a world that's not always kind.
Absolutely. And that's, you know, a lot of the individuals that we place within our work program, which is our work services program, they're placed there because their experiences when they worked in the greater community were not favorable. And now they don't want that experience again. So they want to stay within the environment they feel most comfortable. But ideally, I mean, realistically, our job is to work ourselves out of business. If we placed every individual and they had natural supports and the places they're working are supportive and they didn't need us, then we're doing our job. But there also, you have to understand that with our individuals, they don't like change. They may not leave your business, but when you have excessive turnover, they need a little extra support to have the change happen, right? So if your supervisor's constantly changing, that can cause a little bit of stress, right? And so we, as DWI, if we place someone, they're doing great, they don't need us, we can go away, but we could always come back if something happens, because when change happens in your business and churn happens, that can throw them off a little bit, and they just need that little extra support.
Yeah.
So we're, as our job coaches go in there, we're not there to do the job for the person, we're there to make sure that they're successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it can look like lots of different things.
Yeah.
Lots of things.
So, and how long have you been there? Tell us your path to becoming, because you're the one in charge, and I know you have people like Tim kind of came over recently, and my friend Glenn.
Yeah.
I know your name, Glenn. Sorry, I spaced it. Anyway, but so you got good and other staff members that are great, right? But what was your journey, and how did you get involved in this?
So I have been with the organization 19 years.
Wow.
I actually have a teaching degree in special education, and my husband and I moved to Salmon, Idaho in 2005. And DWI, we serve that Salmon community. We've had an organization there since the 1979. No, get those confused.
Something.
Anyhow.
Yeah.
Yes.
The plaque
Before
in your office said 1979, but I don't know what it says up in Salmon.
Right.
Yeah.
So we had we have a small office there. They were hiring. I had a teaching degree, but the teaching special education has changed a great deal.
Right.
And being in Salmon, I just wasn't sure I wanted to do that. The opportunity came. I went to work at DWI. My husband was then transferred here down this direction in 2008, and the company brought me along and found me a position here in Idaho Falls. So then I worked here in a variety of positions, and it just so happened in 2019, my successor, Michael Blennis, decided it was time to retire.
Nice.
I knew it was what I wanted to do. I did not expect it was going to happen that soon, nor did I expect it would be the year of a pandemic.
Yeah,
but
good times.
Jumped on board. I went through, there were 36 candidates for the position. It came down to 3 of us, and I was blessed to have them choose me.
And here we are in my bug today.
So we have a great staff. We have about 100, and I think we're at 100. If you count the client workers that we have on our workforce, we have about 140 employees, and all different varieties of those employees doing variety of different jobs. So we have such a great team. We call them our champions. They're our DWI champions, because if you are any part of DWI, to us, you're a champion, because you champion people with disabilities and those who are disadvantaged.
It's always fun, because I've toured it a couple of times now, and even walking in today, there was a young guy there at the door, and I pushed the button and said, he said, "You're welcome." And I said, "Thank you."
Yes.
Then a girl walked up and gave me a fist bump and asked me how I was doing. Isn't that how the world should be?
Yes.
Wouldn't we just be happier?
That's why it's hard not to love the job, is because you can be having the very worst day, and you just walk in and everything changes. Because the thing is, with the individuals we serve, is life is pretty simple, right? And you just want to be able to be somewhere where you're cared about and you're safe, and people understand you, and it's just, there's nothing like it. And obviously for me, working for a nonprofit, this was the first nonprofit I ever worked for, and I don't know that I could ever not work for a not-for-profit, because it's just, mission's everything. Yeah. You're there to serve people, and that's huge.
So the culture that's there, and you're a part of that, and you're part of creating it. What do you feel like some of the things that you're proud of the culture itself? Because I always, in business, when I'm talking to other business owners who are struggling with things, and we start talking about what they're up to, and I don't know that I coined the phrase, but it kind of came out of me one time. I said, either you're creating the culture, or other people are going to create a culture that you don't want.
Absolutely.
Right? So tell me, what are some of the things you're proud about in the culture? And because you are facing some changes now too, with rebranding and everything. But anyway, I babbled a lot there.
No, you're good.
But what are some of the cultural things there at DWI that you just love?
Well, I can tell you that I think one of the reasons they chose me as the CEO was not because I came with a business aspect. I don't have a business degree. Right. I've never run a business before.
That's probably better, by the way.
But I came from the rehab side, and in the rehab side, it's about people, right? So what I value is the people, and our staff are, if we didn't have those staff, we wouldn't have a business. And so being able to show that we care about them and getting to know them at a level that we can show how much we appreciate. And the thing about our industry is, in a not-for-profit, it's no secret that we don't pay the highest wages. And so it can't be about money.
Right.
So you have to find other ways to show value and appreciation. It's still something I'm continually learning, and I'm not perfect at it. But I think the reason we have longevity in our organization is because we come to work, we love the mission, we love the people, we love our team.
Yeah.
We have gone through some very hard times with staff and turnover, mainly because in our skills trainers position, those ones that work one-on-one with the clients, it's a part-time job. It doesn't compete well when it comes to wages with McDonald's. So you do have to have a love for the job.
Right.
And so my challenge every day is to try to find ways to keep people feeling like you love this job because what we do.
Yeah.
But it is a challenge, and I haven't found the secret sauce yet.
Yeah.
We're still trying to figure out how to
evolving,
get
right?
people to apply for a job that seems so undervalued. Right now, though, we are in a big effort with workforce development, legislators, state efforts to create what's called a DSP career ladder. We want direct support professionals to be seen as truly a professional, that there is an opportunity for career growth.
Right.
So we are working very hard to create an apprenticeship program where our direct support professionals become certified, and based on their training and expertise, they can make higher wages.
Right. Wow.
So it's an effort we're making because the state is in a drought when it comes to direct support professionals.
Right.
There is a high need for it because, unfortunately, the population of those with disabilities is only growing, and there is a significant need for those positions.
Yeah.
So we need the state, we need our communities to see this is a very sought out job need, and we have to figure out how to make it work.
Yeah.
So we're working really hard on that.
No, I think that's great because I don't know. It's like what would these people be doing if they weren't interacting with GWI and they're learning skills, they're having social aspects, they're learning how to work with others, right?
Yep.
And it's all because now it stands for what?
Develop, worth, and independence.
Independence.
Yeah.
So the independence, because I'll say this, both Katie and Rachel had their own places.
Yes.
Katie lived on her parents' property in a little house, and
Right.
Rachel had an apartment that she had on her
Right.
own. And that was, I was like, whoa, that's awesome. And her
Right.
family lived in Mackey, and so that's where she grew up. And so it's
Yeah.
not like, I mean, she's out there fighting the fight like anybody else, right? So,
And that's the thing, is independence means so much.
Yeah.
So when we say your chosen level of independence, do you ever feel like you're completely independent?
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
That's a
right?
great question, right?
Everybody's independence
Yeah.
level is different.
Yeah.
What I feel like is going to be me having met my independence level is not the same for the person next to
Yeah.
me. And so a level of independence for some can be very small, very what seems underwhelming for some. And then there's those who, their independence level is going to be, I'm going to live in my own apartment, I'm going to have a driver's license,
Yeah.
I'm going to work at the job that I want. And so you cannot choose independence for people. They have to choose it on their own. We have individuals that we serve every day. They come, we run like a school. So they come in, they go to class, they're with their peers, and they don't go to work because they don't want to.
Right.
And we can't force people to.
Right,
if
right.
they don't want to work, they don't have to work. We encourage them, we try to support them, but their independence level is just being social, engaging with their peers, having a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and just being happy. That's their level. So
I want
that's
that
why
gig.
we say, right? That's why we say chosen level.
Yeah.
Is we don't get to decide how independent they want to be.
Right.
It's not our place.
I think that's awesome. So,
Yeah.
so who are, because there's still a need, like you could still place people or work with businesses.
Oh, yeah.
So are there specific industries or specific businesses that you're trying to get in front of, or because I know you do manufacturing there, but there's other things that you're doing too.
So it is a variety, yes. So we are, and I'm certainly not the expert when it comes to what individuals we currently are serving and what
Right.
desires and needs they have. We we have our expert staff. Our vocational staff are the ones that are out there visiting with businesses. And sometimes we don't know what we're looking for,
Right.
because a person comes in and says, you know, I've always wanted to do housekeeping. But then they may do housekeeping for a while and it's not the niche. It's not what they thought it was going to be. And so we may be able to say, well, I've been talking to this business and they have a need for this. What do you think? Would you like to try it out?
Yeah.
And we have opportunities where we can pay for an evaluation where the employer at no cost, we bring the person in and for so many hours they test out the job. And they're trying to figure out, the business is trying to figure out if it's a work for them, and the client's trying to figure out if it's a job for them.
Yeah.
And so we can do that. And so I don't want to say there's any one particular business we're looking for, because we just don't know if the right person's going to come along, and it's a great fit. We certainly are also continuing to want to build contract work,
Right.
both in our custodial services and in our manufacturing, production, and sewing, because right now we have 30 individuals that are considered severely disabled, which is kind of a loose term because you would look at them and go, what do you mean?
Yeah.
But they do have some significant needs, and we want to be able to continue to provide contract work for them in-house.
Right.
So, and we've done lots of different contract work. We've worked with the National Laboratory, we've worked with Rio Products, we've worked with the jerky industry in Shelley. You know, we've had lots of variety of businesses in our community that we've worked with. Blue Phoenix Branding, we do a kit box for them for the Idaho Fiber. So if you've got Idaho Fiber in your house and you got this little box that has these goodies in it, we've packaged that.
Wow.
So we can do big things and we can do small things. But what we like about it is it provides employment opportunities for the individuals. And one of the things that's been said, we had a gal who worked on our work floor for years. She since graduated the work floor and now she works at Rosemark.
Yeah.
And she does a variety of jobs there. And the employer said, you know, what we love about her is she really handles change well.
Wow.
Not many handle that. But it's because on our work program, you're not doing the same thing every day. So we may tell you today you're working on flashlights and tomorrow you're doing sewing. And they do that and they shift and they adapt and they learn that change so quickly and easily that when they go to the employment in the community, they're prepared. They're ready for that. So we put real work in the hands of the individuals so that they can learn those skills so that when we place them in the community, they're already had those challenges that some employers have with employees. We've already kind of worked through that.
Yeah, well, no, this is great. And people, I know that you've been it's been here for 50 plus years, right? And but it's always good for people to hear a little bit about what Mikayla gets up and manages and has a great staff that helps her do that and has great people involved. And and it's it's an amazing service. If you haven't toured the facility, I'd recommend
absolutely, because we always tell people, you know, when someone tours, they walk away and go, oh my gosh, I had no idea. It's more than you ever imagined. That's our tagline, because people always say it. We serve Rexburg, we serve Salmon, we serve Idaho Falls and the areas in between. And we've had some contracts. The Department of Energy at the INL, we've been serving there for over 30 years. Wow. We provide custodial services, we do admin services, but then we've served commercial contracts. We do janitorial with the city, Hartwell, Fisher's Technology, you know, so these are small businesses and these are large businesses. And we've done it. And so there's nothing that we're not willing to do. We have great staff that if you're like, well, I don't know if DWI can meet our needs or not, you just come in and talk to us.
Come in and
because we don't know. Maybe we don't know that we can assist you either. And if we can't, we're going to help get you to some of the resources that might be able to.
Well, good. Anything that we didn't cover that you'd like to mention here before I...
Next week.
Yes.
Festival of Trees.
Festival of Trees.
Largest fundraiser. We are so lucky to have individual people in our community who are a board of directors for Festival of Trees. They put on the event for us, but not without the help of about 600 volunteers. And it starts Monday. The ribbon cutting is at noon at the Elks. And it goes on all week.
The Elks Lodge over on Holmes?
On Elba.
Elba. Oh.
Yeah,
I didn't
Elva
know. Oh, yeah,
next
yeah,
to
yeah.
Pinecrest.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not on Holmes, but
Right.
yeah, that's a yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so come support the Festival of Trees and
Yes.
Mikayla's mission and the staff's mission here. And yeah, I just went the wrong way. Didn't
No,
I?
you're totally
okay,
good.
I'll just stop here. Block
we
traffic.
can work with you on that.
Yeah,
Tyler.
yeah. Get somebody out here to train me on how to drive this car. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So, well, as always, it's always good to see you. Yeah, thank you. And I'm Tyler. This is Mikayla, and she does great stuff.
Thanks.